If you've been brewing compost tea the regular way and getting decent, but not spectacular, results, I'm about to show you the simple kitchen ingredient that will completely transform your garden's growth. This isn't a gimmick, and it's not one of those miracle hacks that pop up online with no proof. This is a real microbial strategy that has been tested, refined, and used by gardeners who want stronger plants, richer soil, and faster growth, without spending a single extra shilling. And the secret? Rice. Yes, ordinary rice from your pantry can supercharge your compost tea in ways most gardeners have never even considered. Once you understand why it works, you'll never brew compost tea without rice again. And here at Soil Power, we're all about turning simple, everyday ingredients into dependable, powerful garden boosters. Let's dive in. Most gardeners know compost tea is good for plants, but few truly understand why. Compost tea isn't valuable because of nutrients alone. It's powerful because of microbes, tiny living organisms that digest organic matter, unlock trapped nutrients, and carry those nutrients directly to plant roots. Think of microbes like the digestive system of your soil. The richer and more diverse that system is, the better your plants grow. Rice becomes important because it provides exactly what these microbes love to eat. The grains are coated in natural starches and sugars. When rinsed in water, those starches dissolve and create a cloudy, nutrient-dense liquid. That liquid becomes microbial fuel, sending your compost tea into overdrive. When microbes feast on rice starch, they reproduce faster, they break down compost more efficiently, they release more plant-available nutrients, and they increase soil life when applied to your garden. In other words, rice doesn't just enhance compost tea, it elevates it to another category of effectiveness. This is where things get exciting for both beginners and experienced gardeners. Regular compost tea is already beneficial, but it can be slow, especially in nutrient-poor soil or during stressful seasons like drought or heat waves. The microbial population needs time to build. With rice-infused compost tea, that buildup happens before you apply it, giving your plants a head start. The microbes multiply rapidly in the bucket, meaning you're pouring a live, high-energy microbial army straight into your soil. I've personally seen plants respond within a matter of days: greener leaves, perkier stems, faster growth. For gardeners who want reliable, repeatable results, this hack is a game changer. This is the version I've refined over years of experimenting. It's simple, clean, and consistently effective. Start by measuring 1 cup of uncooked white rice. Any brand works, and you don't need anything fancy. Put the rice in a bowl and pour in 2 cups of clean water. When you swirl the rice around, the water quickly turns cloudy. That's exactly what you want. Those white starches in the water are the key. Let the rice soak for about a minute, then strain out the grains. You won't need the actual rice for this recipe, so feel free to cook it separately. Now pour the cloudy rice water into a 5-gallon bucket. Fill the rest of the bucket with non-chlorinated water. Chlorine can suppress microbial growth, so if your tap water contains chlorine, let it sit for 24 hours to dissipate, or simply use filtered water. Next, add 2 cups of high-quality compost. Any well-made compost works, whether it's kitchen scraps, manure compost, or garden trimmings. If you have worm castings, add a cup of those as well. They supercharge the tea even more. Mix everything thoroughly, and then set up an aquarium air pump with air stones. This step is very important. Compost tea needs oxygen to encourage beneficial aerobic microbes. Without aeration, your tea can turn anaerobic and grow harmful bacteria instead. Let the mixture brew for about 24 hours. During this time, the microbes feed on the rice starch and multiply rapidly. When the tea becomes foamy on top and develops a pleasantly earthy smell, it's ready. Once the tea has brewed, you'll want to strain it to remove any solids. You should definitely dilute it before applying it to your plants. The safe and effective ratio is 1 part tea to 3 parts water. This keeps the microbial population alive and, really helps them spread evenly through your soil. If you want to spray the tea on your plants as a foliar feed, make sure to use it within 4 hours of straining. Microbes are most active during this window, and honestly, the results are strongest. For soil drenches, you can use the tea for up to 24 hours as long as you keep it aerated. After that, microbial activity drops off pretty significantly. When applying, choose early morning for foliar sprays. That's when stomata, the tiny openings on leaves, are fully open and ready to absorb microbial solutions. For soil applications, late afternoon or early evening works best because evaporation is low and soil organisms are more active. A weekly application is enough for most gardens, though heavy-feeding crops like tomatoes or pumpkins can benefit from twice-weekly doses, especially during fruiting. This is the part gardeners love most. The results are fast and, honestly, pretty dramatic. Within days, you'll likely see your plants take on a deeper shade of green. Nitrogen becomes more available as microbes break it down, and leaves respond almost immediately. Flowering plants often show fuller blossoms because phosphorus becomes more accessible. Fruiting plants like cucumbers, peppers, and tomatoes typically start flowering earlier and producing more consistently. The soil also begins to improve. It becomes softer, darker, and richer as microbial life grows. Over time, you'll notice improved drainage, better nutrient retention, and an increase in earthworm activity, all signs of a thriving soil ecosystem. Plants also tend to bounce back more quickly from stress when supported by a diverse microbial community. Whether it's heat, disease pressure, or even transplant shock, the boosted soil life gives them stronger resilience. While this method is powerful, there are a few important rules to follow to avoid brewing harmful bacteria. Never use cooked rice. Cooked rice breaks down too quickly and can throw off the microbial balance. Always use raw rice rinsed in water. Don't add molasses or sugar when using rice. Too many carbohydrates can overwhelm beneficial microbes and lead to an explosion of the wrong types of bacteria. Avoid brewing the tea for more than 24 hours unless you're actively aerating it. After that, without oxygen, the tea can turn anaerobic. And always strain the tea before putting it in a sprayer to avoid clogs. Following these simple guidelines ensures your tea stays healthy, balanced, and beneficial. Once you're confident with the basic rice-infused recipe, you can tailor your tea to specific plants or garden goals. For leafy vegetables, you can add a small amount of alfalfa meal into the brew. Alfalfa naturally contains growth hormones that stimulate rapid green growth. For flowering and fruiting plants like tomatoes and squash, adding a little kelp meal can provide extra potassium and trace minerals. And if your long-term goal is soil rebuilding, a handful of biochar helps create a home for microbial communities. Biochar holds nutrients and microbes like a sponge, releasing them slowly back into the soil. Use these additions sparingly and observe how your plants respond. Gardening is part science, part intuition, and every garden has its own rhythm. The beauty of rice-infused compost tea is in its simplicity. It doesn't require expensive equipment. It doesn't rely on chemicals. It takes an ingredient sitting in your pantry and turns it into something extraordinary. It works for container gardens, raised beds, in-ground plots, fruit trees, herbs, you name it. It boosts soil health, strengthens plant immunity, and builds fertility over time. This is an evergreen method, one you can rely on season after season. It's practical, affordable, and surprisingly powerful. And the best part? It fits perfectly with the soil power philosophy: strong soil, strong plants, strong harvests. Rice-infused compost tea isn't just another gardening idea. It's one of the easiest, most effective ways to supercharge plant growth using what you already have at home. It provides real microbial benefits, real nutrient improvements, and real results you can see in your garden within days. If you're ready to grow smarter, greener, and more powerfully than ever, this method deserves a permanent spot in your gardening routine. Thank you for being part of the Soil Power community. If you found this guide helpful, be sure to subscribe to Soil Power on YouTube for more proven, organic, and game-changing gardening techniques. And don't forget to share this article with any gardener who loves unlocking big results from simple methods. Let's keep growing, stronger, richer, and more soil power every day.